Look, have you ever scrolled through Instagram and seen someone your age with a way nicer life than yours? I'm talking luxury apartment, brand new car, constant vacations, expensive dinners, and meanwhile, you're sitting there like, okay, I make decent money. Why does their life look so much better than mine? Or maybe it's someone you know personally. Nice house, nice clothes, always upgrading everything. And then one day, out of nowhere, you hear they're behind on payments. They're stressed about money. They can't handle an emergency expense. And you're like, wait, what? Because on the outside, they look rich, but behind the scenes, they're completely broke. And here's the scary part. If you're not careful, you can end up in the exact same situation without realizing it. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who make good money still struggle financially. And if you're someone who earns more than you used to but somehow feels more stressed about money than ever, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down why so many rich people are secretly broke, using real numbers, real psychology, and the exact traps that catch people as their income rises. And trust me, this is way more common than most people want to admit. Here's the thing, most people think being rich is about how much money you make, but that belief is exactly why so many high-income earners end up broke, because wealth and income are not the same thing. In fact, according to data from the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans earning over $100,000 a year say they'd struggle to cover a $1,000 emergency expense. Let that sink in. Six-figure income, still fragile. So what's actually happening here? Let's define something real quick. When people say someone is rich, what they usually mean is they live in an expensive place, they drive a nice car, they wear nice clothes, they spend freely, but none of that tells you whether someone is financially secure. Because all of that can be financed, and this is where the illusion begins. Here's what most people don't realize. Debt is incredibly good at making you look wealthy. A $90,000 car doesn't mean someone has $90,000. It means they qualified for a loan. A $4,000 a month apartment doesn't mean financial freedom. It means long-term obligation. And the problem is, our brains are terrible at distinguishing the two. Now let's talk about the real villain here. Lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is what happens when your spending rises at the same pace or faster than your income. So instead of building wealth, you just upgrade your life. Here's a simple example. Let's say you make $60,000 a year. You get a raise, promotion, or new job, and now you're making $100,000. That's a massive jump. But instead of investing the difference, you upgrade your apartment plus $1,200 a month, upgrade your car $700 a month, start eating out more, plus $400 a month, increase subscriptions, travel, shopping $500 a month. Suddenly, that extra $40,000 a year, gone. And here's the scary math. You feel richer, but financially, you're in the same or worse position. Let's walk through this slowly. Say after taxes, someone making $100,000 takes home roughly $6,000 per month. If their fixed expenses look like this: rent, $3,200, car plus insurance, $900 subscriptions and utilities, $400 food and lifestyle, $200, that's $5,700 a month. That leaves $300. That's it. One unexpected expense, one missed paycheck, one medical bill, and suddenly, the person everyone thinks is rich is stressed out. This is where it gets really interesting, because statistically, people earning more money often take on more fixed expenses, not more flexibility, and fixed expenses are dangerous. Now let's talk psychology, because money problems are almost never just math problems, they're emotional. Here's what usually happens as income rises. People feel like they've earned a better lifestyle, and to be fair, they have. But the problem is the internal justification. I work hard, I deserve this, I finally made it, I don't want to live like I'm broke anymore. And look, those feelings are valid. But here's the dangerous part. Your brain confuses reward with sustainability. Just because you can afford something this month doesn't mean it's safe long term. And companies know this. They market upgrades as milestones, luxury as identity, spending as. Now, you might be thinking, okay Nick, but what if people actually are doing fine? Sure, some are. But social comparison massively distorts reality. You only see the vacation, the car, the lifestyle. You don't see credit card balances, stress debt, lack of savings. Studies in behavioral finance consistently show that people tend to match the lifestyle of their peers, not their bank account. So when everyone around you upgrades, you feel pressure to keep up, even if it quietly destroys your finances. Here's another stat that should worry you. The average car payment in the US is now over $700 per month. That's nearly $9,000 a year for a depreciating asset. Add student loans, credit cards, personal loans, and suddenly your income is already spoken for before it even hits your account. This is why so many rich people live paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they've pre-committed their future income